Welcome to the Valley Recycling Facility in Frenchville, Maine, where today we are going to get a special tour of the facility as well as an explanation and talk on recycling. So here we are inside the facility. This is the Valley Recycling Center, and this is inside the main gate at the headquarters office. And here with us is...
Hi, I'm Chuck Pelletier. I'm the supervisor here at Valley Recycling. We represent 4 towns that are members of the recycling facility and transfer station: Fort Kent, Madawaska, Frenchville, and Senegat. We started out about 34 or 5 years ago as an incinerator facility where we would take garbage in from 3 towns at the time. I think Senegat was a non-member town. It paid extra anyway.
Okay.
Now they are a full member. Garbage would come in and get fed into an incinerator and be burned. At the time, the idea was that burner would also heat water as a boiler and would heat the airport. Anyway, it was still cheaper to burn garbage than to the present day NARIF, Northern Rustic Regional Incinerator Facility, as it was known as back years ago.
Yeah.
And then converted to Valley Recycling Facility, which it is today in the 4 towns that I mentioned. We have garbage that comes in from other areas, out of the district. If you were to bring garbage to me,
Yes.
you would be charged 25% more than somebody in a member town because of the cost of running the facility. Here, this headquarters is the scale house, and where I do all my paperwork as a supervisor here. We are 5 people that work at the facility, including myself. My job is to man the gate here, the scale house, and then do the paperwork and supervise the 4 employees. We have 2 employees upstairs on the transfer floor. It's called a transfer station because garbage comes in and is transferred into, in this case, a trailer with a walk-in floor. So in other words, the trailer is filled, there's a tarp that's rolled over to stop the garbage from going out to the atmosphere, to the environment as it's hauled. Our garbage goes to Courgeorno in Green River, New Brunswick. It goes into an authorized landfill. And I'll be honest, before I worked here, I thought, oh my God, we're paying for some back hill like we used to do here.
Dump it in the ditch.
But I've been to the facility, excuse me. You're all set. Thank you, Gene.
Thank you. Have a good weekend, John.
You too, thanks. What we did is we weighed the garbage that this lady brought in. If she would have had recyclables, as you'll probably see in a little bit, we would have referred to where she's going to be dumping these recyclables. Today she has strictly garbage, so the garbage was weighed and is going to be charged to the appropriate community, in this case Madawaska. There's a number assigned to each individual. You have a number.
Yep.
All it does is starts a loop in the Interlogics or the scale system. So when you come in, you have your gross weight, and when you go out, that same number is put into the system, and that gives you your tare or your empty weight, and then the net weight that you dropped off here is figured out. Let's say you just moved into town in Frenchville. You'll come up here, you'll present your registration. Now sometimes that's
they come here to the facility?
Yes. They used to be able to get them in the town offices.
Okay.
But now they come here, they present, if it's a new registration, new person, they might not have a registration that's from Frenchville. So they'll bring in some proof of document, an electric bill from Frenchville, a telephone bill. So then we can proceed and give them a number, and that's just to prove what community they're from. The igloos, we have some set up in the 4 different towns. The member towns: Fort Kent, Frenchville, Madawaska, Senegat. Let's start with Fort Kent. In Fort Kent, we used to have one setup at the town office parking lot.
Yes.
And this spring, we moved that to the fire station in Fort Kent. If you take the road to the fire station and just go a little bit beyond the fire station, there's an area that's nicely set up with different igloos. What we're collecting there now there's an igloo or a container for tin cans. So in Fort Kent, you can drop your tin cans there. Does the paper have to be off the tin can? No.
Does it have to be clean?
Yes.
There's
We have the regular igloo to pick up
the
number two
plastic? Number 2 plastic.
We pick up the newsprint and the sorted office white soap
Yep.
papers.
In Fort Kent, you've got the fire station, and we have Rite Aid.
Rite Aid.
Are there others in Fort Kent?
Yes, there is. There is by Steve Daigle's little canteen.
Stevie D's little canteen.
The corner of Charette and,
Yep.
and Market. He has 2 igloos there
Igloos
for the
there.
number 2 plastics and the paper goods, the newsprint office goods. Then we have Andrew Cairns at the other end of Frenchville going towards St. John.
Andrew Cairns got a recycling center
Yes,
there too.
Yes.
And he's got a number of igloos, I believe.
Yeah, he's been very active with recycling. So we've got the regular number 2 plastic and paper goods. And he has corrugated cardboard that he has there. He has tin cans, I believe, there. And we have a glass.
A glass bin
recycling.
there too.
Yes. And this.
Oh, you're right. I appreciate it. But
Yep.
yes, we'll take a moment and we'll go visit the inside the plant.
Sure. Here you can come in as a homeowner and bring in your TVs, DVRs, VCRs, your computer equipment. That's the printers, the computers themselves, the keyboards, fluorescent bulbs. These things are recycled because, like for fluorescent bulbs, there's mercury in there. So they go to a company that takes and is able to vacuum out the mercury and process it safely. Mercury devices, your thermometers and your old thermostats in your house, the old type had mercury in them, and we don't want that. Mercury, once it goes in the body, it accumulates and is never expelled. Batteries, your automotive batteries, your rechargeables, and your tires come here. The first one, as you see, is for metals only, and as we discussed in the office, the metals only can be, anything from a washer to a bit of a porch with a metal framing that we can sell as metals. The center bin is clean wood only, and it says no painted, stained, or pressure-treated wood or formica or vinyl covered wood, because we're not allowed to burn that.
Yes.
And should we get caught burning it by DEP, we could lose our privilege to burn. And that would be very costly to the towns, because then that wood would all have to go into the landfill across in Canada. Then the next one, interestingly enough, is ashes only. That's so if you have ashes that you out of the wood stove, don't know what to do with them, well, you can bring them here. We prefer that you dump them in this tub because they could be hot. And obviously we don't want to put ashes that are still hot that can cause a fire in the trailer. Yeah, there's the Smiley igloos.
And so you've got these here so that somebody that wants to come in and kind of sort their stuff out, they can do that.
That's right. We have other behind. You have to the left, if you look between the 2 transfer station doors, there's where you can drop your tires without rims. So tires without rims. Unfortunately, we have to charge now if you bring a rim tire, because we're getting charged for the weight of the tire. And when we send tires out to BDS, which is the company that gets them, we pay so much a ton. And if we're paying for the rim, we're actually in the $2 a tire. It doesn't cover.
Right.
So we have to charge now if you're going to bring rims in. If you look to the left, there's a a white tote, and you see propane containers in there.
So you take those as well?
We take those as well, but they're kept separated for safety reasons, so they can be made, they can be recycled safely. We decided to put a metal tote, and the reason was oftentimes there was a little bit of metal in your load, but people would not walk up to the big tote over there.
They throw it in the garbage. Yeah.
They would go in the garbage. So this way here, this is close enough that we can capture some of that metal. So yeah, and we got the tin can tote. So if you come up with a bunch of cans, if they're in a box, you can dump them in there and take the box and put it in our
in the cardboard bin.
The cardboard bin, which we don't see right now. And to the right of that is a glass jar. Inside the building, Don, if you
now
look,
you got these huge doors that lead into the building.
Yeah, and those are 18 feet high, so that our garbage packers and our roll-offs that are on back of trucks, they have this clearance, the ceiling clearance. If you look, the doors are even higher inside. They got like a 20-foot clearance.
So now we're on the inside of these large doors, And inside, the first thing that at least I see is waste oil.
Yes, used oil only. And that's, like I said earlier, that's what's going to be used to heat our
building.
recycle building, yeah. And the box, what we call a Gaylord box that you see on a pallet before it, that's what, that one there is for the computer-related equipment. Goes in there. Once it's full, it'll be stored in the trailer that we saw. Turning, moving right, there are the gates that you're going to be in the transfer station dumping over. The gates are closed there to protect the public. And you see a sign, no ashes, and that's so that, you know, we're trying to not get any hot ashes. Yeah. I mean, I did say that incinerating was a viable source, but we're no longer an incinerator.
Now, when I look down in the pit, it looks like a pit, but it looks like also the top of a trailer, a tractor trailer.
It is. It's an open top tractor trailer, and you see to the left, you see the canvas or the mesh that goes across the load once it's loaded.
Once the truck is full, because this is just a trailer,
Yes.
then you hook onto a tractor and it drives away to
Yeah, we actually set and take out the trailers with our own equipment here.
Okay.
Because that tractor, you know, a contractor couldn't be here all the time. It wouldn't be feasible. So we take and load the trailer, or take the loaded trailer carpet and put it in our lot and call them, and at their convenience they come up and haul it away.
Talked about all kinds of cardboard, and you've got a bin here that's full of
Cardboard, and it's no harder than when you take it off your truck, rather than throw it over the gate, come over and throw it in our bin, and then we'll take it down to the recycling center. Over here to the left, Don, I talked about number 2 plastic coming in, and you said, how do you handle that? Norman Sear, the supervisor here before me, created this, and it's really pretty clever because the plastics, like you said, there are so many different types. They come in, they got to be sorted. So everything gets dumped in here. So they're collecting, what they're doing is the no good plastics and the caps, whatnot, are thrown here. We're experimenting, Don. This is a new recycling product for us. This is what's known as rigid plastics. And I'm told the way to tell if it qualifies as rigid is if it floats. But that's not a very clear definition. I know that I've checked, and I don't believe the truck bed liners are going to be able to fly or go with the rigid, but it's a new product, and I want to make sure that the end user gets what he wants. Well, it's a sorting, baling, and storage building. Yes,
Okay,
it's the recycle center. If you look to the right, there's an oil pickup tank where I do pick up oil. Recycled oil or used oil. Our recycle oil furnace is up in the air there, the clean burn. As you look going down, the blue baler, that's a horizontal baler. How many pounds?
I think it's 55,000.
55,000
$55,000 of pressure.
No, of pounds of crushing pressure, yes.
Crushing pressure.
Yes, so it really, that we're baling the plastics, the rigid plastics, we're baling the cardboard, the paper. We get much more compaction out of this than the ones upstairs. No comparison.
Right.
Metal cans. We have trailers, non-roadworthy trailers that we bought and attached to the building via the doors, and that creates a bunch of storage for the facility. Starting off on the right here, we have some oil storage. We have a bale of a product we're not sure yet. We're trying to market. There's some flat board or like shoebox board, but it's colored and it's got a lot of gloss to it, so we're still dealing with buyers through our MRRA contact. And then the next trailer is our agriculture pesticide and herbicide trailer.
Trailer here is where you store your, looks like the good white paper.
Yeah, sorted off as white. That's the 41 it was. I said 47 a while ago, but it's 41 plastic 55-gallon drums that made a 1,000-pound bale. 1,025. There's a bale that came from upstairs of the colored number 2 plastic, and further in the trailer is where we'll store the other bales of plastic.
Sure.
This trailer right now has OCC, old corrugated cardboard bales in it. Typically it would be for newsprint, magazines and newspapers. Looking behind you, there are how many bales and how many thousand pounds?
There's 40 bales and it's 54,000 and change.
41 bales or 54,000 pounds of OCC bales ready to go.
So
All cardboard.
all cardboard, yeah. And typically what we're trying to do when we get OCC, we're asking for corrugated cardboard. Between the outer and the inner layers is the little tunnels, that's what's corrugated cardboard. Our recycle truck comes in with the newspapers and magazines that is picked up in the igloos, either on site or through the various 4 towns. This is called dirty newspaper and magazine because it's going to be sorted. So that's why storage and recycling is very important. Dirty, cleaned, then baled. Where do you put the bales? They got to go somewhere. So put it back here, you can't put clean. So trailers, and then when you get a load, you get it out of here so you're ready for another product. Okay, we have on the left, as you look, that's the white goods or the metals. So you can see that there's anything and everything in that pile. You looking to the right, there's a pile of tires with rims.
Yep.
And we do not accept tires with rims anymore. We have a huge pile there, but it's I made a call over a month ago to get picked up, and they've just been backed up. But they called me yesterday, and they're going to be coming in Monday or Tuesday with 2 trucks. So we have at least 2 tractor trailer full of tires. Yes, that will be leaving the property. To the right is the old NARIF, Northern Acoustic Regional Incinerator Facility's old ash pile.
The ash pile, this is it.
Yeah, when we burn, well, you know, you burn in your stove and it's surprising how much ash you develop.
You do.
Well, we were burning trash for 3-4 towns, so you can imagine. So that's what the result is and that's a certified landfill. Last item, Don, that I forgot to mention that we do recycle is when you bring in your lawn clippings and your leaves in the fall and whatnot. Well, we have a compost site that we're at right now. We ask that you do not, put branches, wood, and trash in there.
And we're back at the start line.
Yes, we are.
And I really, first of all, I want to really thank you, not just for doing this video, but I think thank you for doing this whole recycling service to the people in the valley. From the traffic that's been in and out, and we saw a lot of them, and some of those will be on the video itself. This is a busy place, and a lot of material comes in here, different kinds of materials, and you do an excellent job at sorting them out and getting them ready for redistribution somewhere else. And so,
Well, Don, I want to thank you because the word needs to get out. I mean, yes, we try, we do our best here, but we can do better. And the way we're going to do better is with the public. And if the public has the knowledge of what's going on and what we're looking for, then that helps tremendously in making that whole recycling happen, because the public is the ones that really are key to recycling, And I say, we've got to go into the school systems. Remember how you learned to wear a seatbelt? If you had a child and the child said, "How come you're not wearing a seatbelt?" And then you, out of guilt, you said, "I'll wear the seatbelt." So more work has to be done in getting the word out on recycling, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to talk to the people, and it benefits every taxpayer.
All of us.
Yes, all of us, and the environment. So we do the best we can here, but we can always do better, and we appreciate your help to the public in helping us to do a better job and grow recycling.
thank you very much, Chuck.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate
Thank you.
it.